Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to film a brow tutorial for you because I know you guys are probably thinking, you know, she does her brows off camera and I have no idea what she's doing. So I wanted to show that to you. These are very dramatic brows, which is what I personally like. If you want me to do a separate tutorial showing you a natural brow routine, I will do that for you. Just leave comments down below and let me know if that's something you want to see. This is what I personally use every day or personally do every day, but it may not be for everyone. You may prefer a much more natural look and that's totally fine. This is just my personal preference and I wanted to show you guys how I achieve it. So if you want to see this tutorial, just keep watching.
Hey, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my Anastasia, I'm not sure how you say it, Beverly Hills Brow Wiz pencil in Ebony, and I'm showing you both sides. It has the spoolie on one end and then it has the pencil on the other, and I'm starting with the spoolie, and I'm going to comb my brows through just by the natural grain of the hair. I just kind of want to see how they're growing, because what we're going to start with, we're going to clean them up. I do get them waxed for shape purposes, but obviously I have little hairs that grow in between waxes, and then my hair grows so fast I have to trim it, so you'll see that in just a second. So right now I'm just plucking and cleaning it up. And my hands are really shaky because I had a lot of coffee before this video, which was stupid because I know I get shaky, and then I had to have a steady hand to do my brows, obviously. So this was a little bit of a challenge, but ignore that. So I'm just using some tweezers I got from, I don't know, CVS, I think. And I'm plucking the stray hairs just around the brow. I'm not changing the shape or anything because, like I said, I get them waxed, and I keep the same shape. And then I am now using the spoolie and I'm going to brush the hairs up, straight up. And then I'm taking some scissors, again, just from CVS, and I'm going to clip them against the grain. This works for me. This may not work for you, but this is how I keep them, you know, very clean and shaped, you know, the way that I want. And this is a bit of a process. I have to keep brushing them upward, and then I clip, and then I brush upward again, and then I clip, just to make sure that I haven't missed, you know, a rogue hair, because they tend to get so long that they hang down into my eye. Not obviously all the way into my eyeball, but they hang down and it doesn't flatter anyone. When you do your brows, you tend to give yourself a natural facelift without the surgery, which is why I love brows so much. It can totally change the entire face. So I'm pretty careful, you know, not to disrupt the shape of them, but I do want to keep them clean and tidy. It just makes you look cleaner overall. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm going to do that for both sides. As you can see, this one brow, my right brow, which looks like the left brow on when you're viewing it, but my right brow, you know, is thicker than the left brow, and this is a process, so I had to take a water break because it's stressful. It's stressful doing brows. So, and then I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Obviously that one is shaped a little bit differently. There's a bit of a bald spot in the middle. But we work through that because we're going to draw that in. So this one actually didn't take as much maintenance as the other brow because it is a little bit sparser. But they are supposed to be sisters, not twins. I kind of wish they would be twins, but that's just my preference. And again, this is a very...
Too much coffee. Too much coffee. Too much coffee.
There you go. That was too much coffee. I had to interrupt and tell you how much coffee I'd had to drink. So again, this is a pretty bold brow for a lot of people, but I do rock this on a daily basis. I just prefer it. So now I'm taking the pencil end of the Anastasia Brow Wiz pencil, and I'm going to start at the base of the brow, and I am drawing that in, and I'm just shaping the brow with the pencil. This is difficult if you've never tried this before, so I recommend practicing. If you aren't used to your brows or familiar with how you want them to look, this has taken me a long time to perfect. So I start with the bottom and then I go to the top, and right where the roots of the hairs start, I am drawing a line again to shape it, and you'll see that went a little bit pointy, but it does work out in the end. I go over it several times, and then once I have those lines drawn, it's just like drawing a picture. I fill it in, and I fill it in using little strokes so it looks like hair. And again, this is a very dark brow pencil because I have naturally very dark hair. So I wanted it to match. And then the tinted brow gel I use later is a shade lighter than this, so it really evens out and it looks very flattering once it's done, especially with full face of makeup on. So that's what I'm doing here, and I'm filling it in, and I am not taking that fill in all the way to the front of the brow. I want the beginning of the brow, right where my nose starts, to be lighter than the rest of the brows. If you fill it in too dark, it'll look way too harsh. So I recommend that no matter what color your brows are, leave the front parts of your brows a little bit lighter than the rest of your brow. And so once I have that filled in with the little brush strokes, little pencil strokes, I take the spoolie again and I blend that out. And my spoolie has been used enough, you start to get product on the spoolie. And if you see there was a little bit of a bald spot that I blended away. You can just go back and fill that back in. This is why I do this before I do any makeup. I just have my moisturizer on, because if you make a mistake, you can fix it. You can take your finger like that and just swipe it over and make sure you have a crisp line. Sometimes I take a Q-tip like I'm showing you and I make that line even more crisp. See all the stuff on it. And it just helps. It just helps get the shape, you know, the way you want it. Not everyone is suited to this shape of brow. This is just my natural shape enhanced greatly. So you might have a different shape. Just, you know, figure out what works for your face shape. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to start with that baseline. I'm going to actually fill in that little bald spot in the middle there and then take it all the way to the tail. Don't worry if your tail is not as sharp as you want it either. What we're going to do, we're going to take our eyeshadow primer, which is the MAC Painterly Paint Pot, in just a second. And we're going to carve out the brows. And it's kind of like what you can do with concealer. I just choose to do it with my eyeshadow primer because it's a 2-in-1. But anyway, I'm just shaping this brow to try to match the other brow as closely as possible. It won't be perfect, but that's okay. Nobody's face is perfect. So, and then once I have my hairs drawn in, I am blending that out, and you can see that the front part is lighter than the tail, and it's kind of a fade effect. And then we're going to do the eyebrow dance and eye roll because I want to show you the brows. I'm so stupid. So then I'm going to take my MAC Painterly Paint Pot, which you've seen in my previous videos, and my Sigma concealer brush here. I love this brush, and it has been well loved, which is why the bristles are a little bit spread out. And I'm going to dip that in my paint pot, get a nice amount on that brush, and then I'm going to start just by normally priming my eyelids, and then I take it up and I take the edges of that brush and I'm going to carve out my brows. And take your time. This is a slow process, especially if you're not used to it. And then you can draw that line, make sure it's nice and crisp at the bottom, and then you can feather out that tail, and you can see it starts to get sharper. And then I take my fingers and I blend out the entire lid primer so that there's no wrinkles. I have a hooded eye. My eye tends to wrinkle up, so sometimes it makes putting shadow on very difficult. So, and then I'm going to carve out the next side, and again, I have that little bald spot, so I make sure not to run the brush up into the bald spot or you would remove the brow pencil. And that's what it looks like. And then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to put our face makeup on. So I'm totally finished. And I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Tinted Brow Gel in Chocolate that I mentioned before. This is a shade lighter than the Ebony pencil. And I'm brushing that product off on the tube because it is so loaded with product on that brush that you can easily smear it across your forehead. I have done it. It's not fun. So don't do that. Make sure you scoop it off on the tube, and then you just take it and gently run that through your brow hair. Do not get this on your skin or it will be there forever until you take off your makeup. So just run it along the hairs and very lightly, and it will cement those hairs in place, and that's what it looks like.
And that is how I do my brows. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I put out 2 or 3 videos every week. Let me know if you have any questions about this tutorial. It was pretty simple. I only use the pencil and the gel. Some people use the pomade. I have the pomade, but I am not brave enough to try that yet. So we're gonna wait on that. Okay? Okay. Hope you guys have a lovely day, and I will see you in my next one. See you, bye.